Good morning, Karoo. It's the 20th of November, and as you may be able to tell from the setting, I am back in Pendleton, Oregon, our second home, or is it our first home? One of our homes now. It's been really nice to be back in town. So our return trip was fairly circuitous. We left Carnarvon on the 14th, and we arrived back here on the 17th, I think. So we went, we took the ferry to Holyhead, then we took the plane the next day to Seattle, spent the night in Seattle, then we drove to Pullman, spent the night in Pullman, got to see my folks, which was nice, and then made it home early afternoon on Sunday. So yeah, it was a long trip, and it was good to be back at our house in Pendleton. And it's funny, we got here and we kind of unloaded the van and then went for a walk, and in the first 4 blocks of our walk we saw a bunch of people we knew and had nice chats with them, and it really reminds you why you love Pendleton. I mean, I love Wales as well, but I love Pendleton too. So it's nice to have both those things. So on Monday morning, I woke up at 4 o'clock after going to bed at 8 the night before, jet lagged, obviously. And I decided I was going to go do a soak. So I actually worked out first, and then went down to the river at 5:45, and it was still dark, as you might imagine. Good first cold soak. Air temperature was 4 degrees C, water temperature was 6 degrees C, and unfortunately the timer, my little pyramid thingy timer that you bought for me quit working, and it's like the light comes on and then it goes off, and it doesn't seem to work, and I haven't figured out what's going on. I replaced the batteries, it doesn't seem to be working. But as such, I'm not sure how long I was in the water. I think it was around, but I also was kind of slow getting in, and it was warm enough, and I just worked out, so I was quite hot. So, I kind of stood in the water futzing around with the timer had to be at least a couple minutes, and then didn't get fully submerged. I think I was in about 4 minutes full submersion, but it was really nice. I think I prefer going when it's light. It's just more fun to see things. Some ducks landed quite near me in the river while I was in there, but I couldn't see. So anyway, it was a good soak, good start for the season. It got colder the next morning, but I had other things to do, so I didn't go in. That would have been yesterday morning when it was really cold. It was when Sarah and I went for our walk in the morning. It was below freezing out, and there was ice on the puddles, not in the river. So yeah, the other things I've had to do. The reason I haven't made a video yet is that Sarah finished the draft of her next novel and asked me to read it, and it takes me 2 days to read the whole book. But it's interesting. I started reading it on Monday, and I got like 5 chapters in, and I went to Sarah and I said, it's 5 chapters in, and really nothing's happened yet. You've just introduced characters, and you've had a lot of dialogue. And this is actually really common for Sarah, especially in books. Like this one is not a mystery, it's one of the time travel ones. And she wasn't sure exactly where she was going, and she was introducing new characters. And what she tends to do is write herself into the book. So she doesn't come in with a clear-cut idea of who all the characters are and what they're going to do. She puts them in a room together and lets them talk about their lives, and it sort of evolves. And so, she's got the situation, and then there's a lot of, like I said, the first 5 chapters is just a bunch of people talking about what's going on and what's going to happen and what they've done so far, and kind of discovering who they are and giving background, but nothing happens. And it's not unusual for her to cut quite a bit of that and rewrite and start with a compelling sort of action that then sort of drives the reader's desire to kind of stick with the book. Anyway, I talked with her about this, and unfortunately she started crying, and I felt really bad, because we've had these conversations about lots of her books. I mean, like I said, it's not uncommon, but she's jet lagged. It's the morning of our first day back, and she's just finished this book, and it's been this book has been a lot of work, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to do a bunch of work on this. Now the reality is, like, I read the whole book, and it's funny because once I got past that section, like, I found the book really compelling and easy to read and interesting and lots of good stuff. But we talked about more ways to show rather than tell, which she does really well. But it's like I said, a book like this one where the mysteries are a little more. There's a structure to the mysteries that allows her to not have to, figure out what's going on as much. And in this book, she was figuring out as she wrote it, and as a result, some of that figuring out is still in the text, and really doesn't need to be there. I finished it. I thought it was really good, and I think she's working on it now. Again, she's back at rewriting it, and she's hoping to have it another draft done in just a couple of weeks, which is it may take a little longer, but she's writing some new action scenes about things that she talked about that happened off screen. But anyway, I really don't enjoy reading her books and talking to her about them. I feel it feels valuable, it feels useful, but it's sort of like when I was at work working as a manager. There were so many things that I didn't enjoy I didn't look forward to doing, but I did because I knew they were going to be valuable and useful. And this is one of those things where it's not that I'm I don't know, it may come across that I'm being self-indulgent and how important I am in her writing process, because that's not the case, really. It's just that someone has to look at the book with fresh eyes and be honest about it. And the last thing you want to do is tell someone you love the things that you don't like about something that they've just put months into creating. So anyway, so that's what I've been doing. I've decided I'm going to be more systematic about my learning Welsh. So I'm doing Say Something in Welsh, which are 30 to 40 minute lessons. I'm doing those once a day, and I'm going to continue to do that until we go back in March. It's good to be back. It's good to see people. And so far, my schedule's getting a little back to normal. I slept until 6 this morning, which was nice, after like 9.5 hours of sleep. So I hope you're doing well. I hope to get back in the river again soon and get a video of it. The temperatures have warmed up a little bit, so I might wait. But that's my story. I'm sticking to it.